Hello everyone, so we are going to start off at the back of our mats, coming down into a child's pose, wide knees or narrow knees, engaged arms or relaxed arms, however you choose to see fit in your child's pose. We will be moving quite slowly throughout the actual workout itself, but in the second half of the workout we will pick up the pace a little bit, but for right now just indulging in a nice gentle child's pose. Coming on forward now into an upward facing dog. Inhaling as you come forward, exhale as you lower your hips, inhale as you shift your hips back, exhale as you sink back to your child's pose. Repeating this a few times over. From here now some gentle spinal cat-cows. Inhaling on your cow, exhaling on your cat. From here, tucking your toes, coming up into a high plank. Option 1 is your high plank. Option 2, lifting up your right leg. Option 3, advanced version, lifting up your left arm with your right leg, and seeing if you can't hold this bird dog plank static hold. I also found it easier to flatten out my left foot. Dropping your left hand first, but if you can manage it, drop your left knee. And now bird dog extension crunches for 1, 2, 3, inhaling as you extend, exhaling as you bring it in. 5, 6, 7, 8, keep on going up to 10. Once you have reached your 10, pivoting onto your left knee, kicking up your right leg for 4 times, and then shifting your weight, coming into a side plank bicycle. Every time we come up to our bicycle, that is our rep count, and that's 2 so far. And every time you brought your left knee down, you're going to kick up your right leg 4 times, and then shifting your weight, shifting your strength up to a side plank bicycle. If of course the bicycle part becomes a bit too much for you, just focus on the outer glute kicks and hold for a static hold every time everybody else comes to the side plank bicycles. Obviously do what you can manage. Believe it or not, there are modifications available in postures like these. Do what you can and remember to breathe. We're only coming up to a total of 10. Once you have completed your 10, you're going to shift your weight and come back up to your bicycle pose, but this time reaching your right arm up and overhead to a reverse passe. And then shifting your weight to a high plank, left knee stays to chest, and kick it in up to your chest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, high plank, lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog, and or baby cobra. And especially since we do want to be conserving the energy in our arms, I highly recommend cobra. Taking nice deep breaths, allowing our heart rate to come back down because we'll be cranking it back up. Coming back up to your high plank. Plank for 1 option, left leg up for 2nd option, official bird dog plank for 3rd option. Balance where you can, then drop your right knee and crunch it in for bird dog crunches for 2, 3, inhaling as you're extending, exhaling as you're crunching, coming back up to a count of 10. Pivoting now onto your right knee, left leg lifts, left arm behind your head, kicking up for 4 times. and then shifting over to your side plank bicycle. If once again the bicycle does get a bit too much after a few reps, just stick with the side glute kicks, and each time we come up into a bicycle, just hold your leg for static hold. Do what you can absolutely manage. As we have gathered, we are in one overall posture, but then within that posture, one part of our limb is doing one thing, and then in a shift motion later, another part of our body is doing something else. So very similar to a superset type of workouts. So breathe your way through only 4 kicks, shifting your balance, bringing your right knee to your left elbow. Once you have concluded 10, come into your reverse passe, meaning your lower leg bends parallel to your mat. Then shifting over to a high plank, keeping that right knee to chest. Then extending it out and kick it back into chest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe, keep going. Inhaling as you bring the knee in, exhaling as you extend out. Plank, chaturanga, and or baby cobra. That is it for the core strengthening part of our class. So then you're going to bring your hands behind your back, interlocking your fingers and straightening out through your elbows, giving our shoulders a well-deserved stretch. Also option, you can lift up your legs. Try to keep your hands away from your lower back. And now shifting arms forward ahead of you, and on your next exhale, bring your elbows back for 1, 2, inhaling forward, exhaling back, 3, 4, 5, 6, clearly we are doing some cactuses or supermans, 8, 9, 10. Now push up releases, so you're going to push your way up, down, release hands, 1, up, down, release hands, 2. Keep going, just up to 5. Once you have done 5, we're coming into some pilates push-ups. Extending one leg, pushing up, alternating legs. Push up. Obviously do what your push-ups look and feel like to you. And once you have completed those, pressing up to a downward dog. We've got a cardio and strengthening series coming up. So walk your way back to your mat, standing up, and then walking all the way back forward again to a push-up. With a full body push-up or on the knees, up to you, and then coming back up to a downward facing dog, walking back, standing up, and repeat only 2 more times. Walking forward, dropping the knees if it makes it easier, pressing up, downward dog, walking back, standing up, coming back down, dropping the knees if that helps, push up, no matter what that looks and feels like to you, and then sitting all the way back to a very well-deserved child's pose. And in this instance, I am also flipping my palms up sky high, or technically ceiling high. You can do the same if you'd like to release the tensions in the arms. We're gonna hang out here for a couple of breaths. On your next inhale, you're going to come through to a bear stance, and we're going to revisit those bird dog extensions. So coming through, I do recommend the working leg to touch base with the ground, just to help with stability. But bring it in for 3, 4, 5. So once you have completed a very fast 10, dropping your left knee and bird dog extensions and anchoring your limbs, your lifted limbs, away from you. I'm also choosing to bend in my left arm to my waist every second count, but you can get as creative as you like with your limbs. Once you finish 10, sending your right leg ahead of you and coming into a low lunge, and then shifting your hips back to a half split. We're just allowing our breath and heart rate to come back down a bit to even out. So we're using that same opportunity to stretch out our legs. So nice deep breaths, no matter which position of these you're in. Now on your inhale, straightening through your left leg, rising up your upper body and coming into some eagle arms. In my case, my right arm is underneath my left. Waving forward now for 1, keeping the eagle arms, and 2, and 3. It's like eagle arms meets humble warrior. And now shifting your grip, interlocking your fingers, stretching out your shoulders while we come into a more active official humble warrior. Coming down on your exhale, coming up on your inhale. Just one more. And coming down. This time you're going to hold your humble warrior, also depending on hip mobility. Then releasing your arms, high lunge, and stepping back into those bear stance bird dog extensions. This time your left leg. So each time your left leg comes back, touch base with the mat, but then bring your knee and elbow together. Try to keep a bend in the right leg. And now for some bird dog extensions. So you're just anchoring your limbs away from you, but I'm also still choosing to bring my right elbow to my waist. But again, you can get as creative as you like. Straight limbs, one straight, one bent, or both bent. And now sending your left leg ahead of you into a low lunge, then shifting your hips back to a half split. So we are just once again using this opportunity to settle our heart rates and stretch out our legs. Shifting it back to your half split. Then coming back through and straightening through the right leg. Coming up with the upper body, eagle arms, this time left arm under right. Leaning forward and coming back up. Exhaling, coming down, inhaling, coming up. So once again, we are combining eagle arms with humble warrior. Switching out your grip to that shoulder stretch. Try to get your wrists about as high as the ceiling or sky as you can, even when you're just coming down and coming back up, depending on shoulder mobility. And now leaning all the way forward, really stretching out those shoulders, really lifting up those wrists. Then releasing your arms into high lunge, and then stepping back into a downward facing dog. We're gonna hold our downward facing dog just a little bit longer this time. Feel free to walk it out. And then stepping halfway through, crossing your legs and laying on back, coming into a dead bug extensions, while we also add on some double jackknives. So every second jackknife is our rep count, and we are just coming up to 10. After that grueling 10, hands back and overhead, right leg straightens, single legged jackknife, and on the left side, lifting up our glutes. So jackknife, and then lifting up our left glute. So keep going. My leg was definitely starting to feel the gravity, so if you need to grab your leg when you come up to the top, and then release, lifting up your left glute. So each time we lift up our glute, that is our rep count. And now, without hesitation, switching over to the left side jackknife, and then right side glute lifts. You might even find that one side of your glute lifts up a little bit higher than the other. I definitely noticed that my right side was a lot stronger. So inhale on your jackknife, and then inhale again when you lift up your right glute. And now rolling onto your right side, right arm stretches out, left hand behind ear, 2 oblique crunches, and then 2 donkey kicks, and then 2 single leg clamshell lifts, and repeat all the way up to 10. And every time you come to your second clamshell lift is your rep count, and we are just coming up to 10. Rolling back over into center, going to do 2 ab curls and then 2 glute bridges. And on your second glute bridge is your rep count. So 2 ab curls, 2 glute pumps, and repeat. So inhale and then exhale twice for the curls, inhale and exhale twice for the glute pumps. Now I'm shifting around so that my back isn't to you guys, but you're just going to lay on your left side this time. Left arm extends, right hand behind you, bent legs, coming into the oblique crunches, then 2 donkey kicks, and then 2 clamshell lifts. Back to the oblique crunch. Donkey kicks, then single legged clamshell lifts. Now I'm just returning back to uprights. You're going to lay on back, hands up and overhead, reaching forward but using your core to come all the way up to a roll up sit up. So laying back, hands up and overhead, hands in front, but only using your core to see yourself sitting up. We aren't using the momentum of our hands to come up. It's just additional movements. So you're using that core on your exhale to come up and on your inhale to come back down. And then at long last, flop your way down gently to Shavasana. Of course, if you're not short on time, by all means stay here just about for forever. But if you are in a rush suddenly, wiggle your fingers and then slowly roll over and come to an easy seated pose, whatever easy seated pose means for you. Just bringing elbows to knees, hands to Alo Mudra if you'd like. Nice deep breath in. We've officially finished class of this intermediate Pilates workout. Reaching our hands up, sky high, and all that energy above you, bring it on down to your heart center and bow out with yourself, to yourself, thanking yourself so much for fighting so hard throughout this flow. It was not an easy one. Thank you all so much for watching and or flowing. I do appreciate it either way. Thank you all so much for being here. Namaste.